Kids. You see, technology can be used for good things. That was beautiful. It makes me nervous, all that you do with your feet, but I'm getting used to it. You know what you're doing. Thank you for being here. Oh, aren't you in for a treat today? I've got one page of handwritten notes. Oh yeah, that's old school right there. You know I have trouble anyway. And now I got to interlace handwritten with, oh Lord help you all. I wanted to do something a little different today. We're studying our 12 powers, of course, and September is the month of order, my least favorite, which is the one I need to work with the most. We've got 5 Sundays, so we're okay. And I was really taken by this idea of, Labor Day and sharing a little bit more with you about what happens here with our staff. We had an opportunity to go on a staff retreat. I forget I was sick last Sunday. I think everybody, they got a little sick too, but we all got, it was quick. That's not what I'm going to talk about. We went to Breckenridge. Lisa Yelnick has a family condo there that she graciously offered, and Taylor and Carly and myself and Lisa and little baby Elijah. If you haven't met her yet, look out. That's Taylor's 1-year-old. Yeah, that's what we did. She was an angel. I thought, oh, how is this going to work? Yes, she stole the show a few times, but my goodness, it was such a treat. We realized there among us, we had 5 generations. We had a baby boomer, we had a Gen Xer, we had a millennial, we had a Gen Z, and little baby Elijah is Gen Alpha. And you know what's really cool about that? It's beginning again. It's starting over. And a big part of what came out of our time together was, in a roundabout way, how to be a really good ancestor and to remember our ancestors. And there she was. The choices we've made for thousands of years have affected the generations. And now we know a lot about that. And we can do it differently. And that is really honoring our ancestors. And the pain and the struggle and the limitations that they dealt with. It's not to make anybody wrong. It was a beautiful time. There's nothing like, I had an agenda. There's a big joke about that. First morning we were late and I just yelled down from my bedroom, "You're all fired! We're late." They took it well. Because we'd had fun. We got there and had some fun and connection. There's nothing like making meals together and coming down with your bedhead and jumping in the pool. Carly, she's going to shake her head, but I loved this so much. Carly's 6 foot tall. The pool, she came running back to the condo, is 9 feet tall. I can jump in it. She proceeded to jump in it 12 times. I was like, I have water in my nose watching you. So we had fun, we got connected. And we began by connecting around our own personal visions. What's going on in our life? What's drawing us? What's working through our lives that we then bring to this work that we're doing together? And that there's a reason we've been brought together. It's been a challenging few years with changes in leadership. That happens. It can be difficult. There's grief. But it felt like, okay, this is our team, right? Lisa and I became known as, and I am going to add this to my resume, the original gangsters. OG, I'm known on the streets. Lisa's been here over 30 years. Give her, she's tried to retire a time or two, but she comes back. I've been here 20 years. So to join that staff is, woo, you guys know a lot of things that you think we know, and we don't even know where the thermostat is, right? So that was really good to know. and to make room for. We had these amazing conversations where everybody's perspective, and you could say it was generational. It's not about age, it's just about perspective. It was so rich and so full. And there were a time or two that we bumped into each other a tiny bit. Not like a fight or anything, but like, well, that can't be. You can't change that. Why not? Right? A little bit of that. Because we've done it for 30 years. Don't you know? So I let go of the agenda, and we got through it. We probably got more done than if I had kept us strictly to it. And it was easy to do. It happened organically and quickly. So these two new staff members bring a lot. They bring wisdom beyond their years and a knowing of what they're here to do in the world. And I feel really fortunate to have them. One thing that became clear is that they'd like to be known more. They'd like to know you more. That happens when we're in community together for a long time. You just know who you know, and these are the people who do things for us. Well, get to know them. See what interests them. This isn't a guilt trip. I mean, it's an invitation, right? Together, in that conversation, we discerned, this is where it's going to get dicey because my notes are in two places, but you are so patient. We discerned our purposes together. That Carly's a master's student at Regis University for counseling. She has an ambition to be, I'm going to butcher this, but a Jungian analyst. I got it right, which is huge. It's a huge investment of time and education. And she is all about doing the hard work of deconstructing our conditioning to uncover the true self. Who she and we are meant to be. And this is how we come to know the depth of spirit within us. Because the depth of spirit is our true nature, which is what we're learning here. And the ways that we express that uniquely is purposeful in all the different ways it expresses. It doesn't have to express the same way. I originally kind of discerned that my purpose was not only to help to repair the breaches that occurred in the name of Jesus in order to reclaim the fullness of that message, which is what Unity's been about for over 120 years, but also, and even more challenging, to do the hard work of reclaiming my soul, the fullness of my being. And as soon as I said that, all sorts of shit came right up. Oh, you are? You ready? Okay. So be careful. Pace yourself. But to be inspired by our youngest staff members really gives me hope, right? Lisa, of course, as a grandmother and a mother of 5, is passionate about serving children, about seeing the truth of them, no matter how they're acting, no matter what challenges they're having, no matter if they sit in the circle or not. Mind you, we've had to get more staff members to make sure everyone stays safe, but she sees them. When we were at the point of visioning the possibilities for this community, here comes Mama Lisa calling upon, this is a quote, "We're calling upon faith in the fertile field of possibilities. All things are possible." So, as things are changing in our world, they're changing here. I honestly don't even know all that means, but things are changing. Taylor discerned and shared that she's a messenger. Taylor has a real intuitive nature. She expresses that most famously in comfortably through oracle card readings, which of course I've been skeptical about. You're doing what now? Till she did one for me. I was like, oh, okay, all right, put those away. Whew. And she is committed to being a good ancestor, a conscious ancestor for the evolution of the family. And as a woman of color and a single mother, she's got her work cut out for her. And she's courageously doing it. And at some point along the way, someone wrote down that I said, I think my first purpose is to heal myself. And I hope that's your purpose too. Because if we're not doing that work, we're undoubtedly hurting other people and projecting things and harming ourselves. And that is where I believe the strength of spirit comes in. To stabilize us, to support us, to shine that light from beneath whatever feels dark within us. And I can only speak for myself, but I think culturally we've avoided that for too long. And it's really showing up. And the new generation is saying, nope. Help us, or we'll help you. Tends to be the case. I found this reading from, I get the readings from Father Richard Rohr. And it really spoke to me because, we were talking about what's the next evolution of Unity of Denver? What's the next evolution of humanity? What's the next evolution of our family? What's the next evolution of aging well? All of it, parenting, education. And we feel this change is occurring, but we don't know exactly what it is, and that's scary. And what we're tempted to do is say, I know. What did we do before? There, let's do that differently. What does it mean to actually create something new? It means, yes, we bring forward what good and riches and wealth of wisdom, and we drop the rest. So this reading just spoke to it. It helped. I was like, okay, there's some words. There's some ways to think about it. I'm going to share that with you. It's written by a public theologian, Jennifer Bailey, who uses an agricultural metaphor to describe the waning landscape of religious institutions in the United States. First of all, I hope we're not a religious institution, but we're operating within a paradigm. We had this great conversation about, they were like, why are we a spiritual center and not a church? It's like, I just blurted this out. Well, that was a branding move. Oh, say more. And it was. And some of us were in that conversation, and some of us said, I don't like it. And some of us said, oh, yeah. Because there's stuff around church. Anybody have stuff around church? Okay, and you're still here, you brave souls. And it's long been thought that unity meets the needs offers the option for people who consider themselves spiritual but not religious. So this was a way to have that front and center. Makes sense, right? So we were Unity Church of Denver, we became Unity Spiritual Center Denver. And many of our churches became that. People have been showing up, I think, over the past 5 years, saying, I didn't realize this was a church. They say, oh no, it's a spiritual center. Oh. And I started to think about that. And I'm still thinking about it. I encourage you to think about it. What does it mean to you? Some of you came here today or found this because it was a spiritual center. How many of you did that? A few, okay. Where do I go from here, you say? I think it's a great conversation. You know, we did it because we wanted to appeal to a broader group of people to whom we thought we had a message. I think we do. And we're still following an order of service. We still come in these rows, right? So, and it's probably more about what we're doing, right? Maybe bringing in more practices and a broader swath of truth, spiritual truth. And I'm certainly open for that. I also think there's a great wealth of information and valuable tools in the unity message. And I think that that's actually up for a facelift as well. We're ready to, I shouldn't say facelift, I'm sorry. To modernize it, to change it, to have its next evolution. And there's people within the movement that say, don't you change that. Don't you change that. Okay, we cannot change it and we won't be around, right? Because things evolve, things change, so do we. All right, I was doing a reading here at the Spiritual Center. I do invite you, and I think you'll be hearing more about opportunities, I know you will, to get involved, to let us know what you're thinking about, what you're looking for, what you can bring, a whole variety of things. What does it mean to you to be a spiritual center? Or are you still PO'd because we're not a church, right? Let's talk about it. I don't think you are, but if you are, we'll hear about it. We welcome your feedback. I mean that. I'm not trying to be sassy. I'm too tired to be sassy. Okay, here we go. Here goes the public theologian. At first glance, the land appears barren. Indeed, millennials and Generation Z, successors to the throne of youth, are turning away from institutional religion faster than any other age group, raising a palpable sense of panic in religious communities concerned about their future. But I come from Illinois, the prairie state. When I fix my eyes on the horizon, I see rows of fruit and veggies in the form of new spiritually grounded communities and ritual practices waiting to sprout. They may not be recognizable to a casual observer searching for a congregation that meets on a weekly basis. For those seeking new forms of community to share in their questions and make meaning of their lives, these new varieties and hybrids may be the source of nourishment they have been longing for. Bailey names the challenges of our time and how she finds inspiration for hopeful action. Today, we as a global community find ourselves warring over the vision of what we will become. At stake are the very souls of our communities, with battles being fought over kitchen tables, anonymous internet comment sections, and political rallies. You are not alone in your quest for understanding your place in the world as it is evolving. At times, it may feel like the earth is literally moving under your feet as you attempt to step in one direction or another. That's because it is. All around us, things are shifting. Systems are collapsing and institutions are failing. This should not surprise us. Around the world, elders across cultures and peoples were predicting this time would come. It is a time of great uncovering in which Mother Earth and Father Sky are pushing us into a divine reckoning about what it means to be in right relationship with one another and with all sentient beings in the 21st century and beyond. It is clear to me that the actions we take now will have deep and irreversible consequences for the generations to come. The enormity of the plight we face can be solved only by harnessing the ingenuity. Thank you. and creativity of the communities to which we belong and are accountable. This season will require us to recover ancestral wisdom and practices that we lost or undervalued. It will require us to repair the deep breaches in our interpersonal and communal relationships that have replicated patterns of harm and destruction. And it will require us to reimagine the possible by stretching ourselves to see beyond the realities of our current circumstances and daring to dream something different into being. That's exciting and scary. And there's Mama Lisa saying the infinite field of possibilities. Do we believe it? Or are we just saying if we can't do it like it's always been, we're doomed? Where do you suppose page 2 went? There it is. So I just want to take a moment to highlight those words: recover, repair, and reimagine. To recover, the author says, the lost ancestral wisdom and practices. Many are being called to investigate those, to reclaim those, and to do that mindfully and respectfully. I was remembering as I wrote this, when I was a kid, everything was closed on Sunday. Remember those days? 1996, I looked it up, was the time that changed. When they released it from a federal law and let the states and municipalities decide it for themselves. And like that, we needed to sell some stuff. And the working shifts changed. People weren't working Monday through Friday anymore. Some of them, because we opened everything up on Sunday. I see your point, yeah. And that was set in place, prior to 1996, stores were generally closed on Sunday due to the blue laws, and those laws were put in place to comply with the Christian Sabbath and were first enacted in Virginia in 1617. And the Christian Sabbath is what? A continuation of where are my chosen students? The Jewish Shabbat. Just made it a day later because we're not Jewish. The purpose of that, though, boy, I am turning into my grandmother. She was awesome. Depends which one. I might have a cigarette and a Bud Light, or an antique shop and shop at Natural Grocers. That was the difference between them. So I got ding-dongs at Grandma Shirley's and healthy Fig Newtons at Grandma Wanda's. Okay. But the purpose of that was to have a time that you did not have to be doing anything but remembering your God, connecting with it, connecting with the people that you loved in the tradition of the time, and worshiping, and relaxing, and resting, and creating. Anybody else wish that was still if we go back to the blue laws, I'm out of here. Just kidding. Yeah, I think we can recognize that was and then we get into how can you make a law for one religion? I know, it gets dicey very quickly. But if Sundays are closed, you can do that if you're Jewish, or you can do that if you're a Hindu or a Muslim. You don't have to work, right? So recover. I think also of the word recovery, defined as a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, and strive to reach their full potential. Based on that, every member of us is involved in a recovery process, don't you think? And then there's repair. Repair the deep breaches in our interpersonal and communal relationships. Reconnect with our true self and do the work to repair the breaches and the breakdowns that we have perhaps caused or that have been caused by others upon us. Synonyms for breach: violation, infringement, offense, trespass. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. And lastly, reimagine the possibility by stretching ourselves to see beyond the realities of our current circumstances and daring to dream something different into being. Friends, that's what we've been teaching and trying to do here for 120 years. It's not complicated, but it's not easy. Because our world doesn't say, yes, sit down and take some breaths. Connect in the silence for a minute. Deep breaths. You've got 10 minutes. Take your time. So you make time. You make that the labor of your life, because it is. And once we start doing that, we find that we can do that in our workspaces. We are maybe taking a nap up in the restroom for 20 minutes. It's not the restroom. It's the rest room. I'm going to take a long nap after this. So I want to close this with the quote from Emily Cady, who wrote Lessons in Truth, which was Unity's first textbook in the early 1900s. Your greatest work will be done in your own God-appointed channel. If you will let Spirit possess you wholly, if you will have the highest will done in you and through you, you will be moved out of your present limitations into a manifestation as much fuller and more perfect and beautiful as is the new grain than the old seed, which had to fall into the ground and die. In other words, let go of what has been, trusting that something new is trying to be birthed. It's a whole new take on labor. We're in labor pains. And I think the least, well, not the least, I think the best that we can do is to learn how to do that together. To recognize all the things that have come to divide us aren't real. And that means we have to find what is real within us. And that is the work I hope we're doing here. Creating a space for you to feel scared, for you to feel unsure, for you to let down your guard, take off your mask. In order to let the truth of who you are shine forward. Because that truth is of goodness itself. It is of love and light itself. So all the ways that we act that aren't in accordance with that are responses to what has happened to us as a result of being a human being. It's not the truth of us. Any questions? I'll tell you, I think I've already told you many times, but I told you earlier I've been here for 20 years. And I haven't done this work fully. I learned it all. I knew what to say. And there was a part of me that was, you can't touch that. That's for them, not you. So I'm not leading you into anything that I'm not doing. And I can also tell you that it is freeing. And that the light does meet you in the darkness. And I know you already know that. But a change that's happening for me is I'm not going to always be zippity frickin' doodah. I know I wasn't. You're like, have you met yourself? Zippity frickin' doodah. Listen, I'm an OG. I can do what I want. No, I'm going to be real. And I encourage you to do the same. So let's take a moment in meditation. Going to get some relaxation out of this, by God. I saved some time, I thought. Bring the singing bowl here that invites us to drop from our head to our heart, where we feel the truth instead of thinking about it. So just take a breath again. We'll do a little body scan. You can check in with your physical body and just be right here, right now. Nothing to do, but check in with you. We'll take a few deep breaths. Just notice what that alone does. Again, feeling your feet on the ground, your back supported, your crown chakra open. And all you have to do is observe yourself, the sensations of being in your body right here, right now. You do not need to change how your body feels, or if it doesn't feel. Nothing needs to be changed. We're just observing. If you haven't closed your eyes, drop your gaze. Begin by noticing the feelings in your feet. The sole, the heel, your toes, top of your foot. Notice how it feels to have your foot on the ground and your shoes around your feet. Anything that you can feel there, just notice it. This magnificent body of ours, and all that our feet hold. These feet are on holy ground. For you are the living presence of the divine. Begin to gently travel upward, noticing sensations in your ankles, in your shins, in your calves. Even in the depth of your muscles. All the work that your leg muscles do. And the outer feeling of your skin. Continue noticing the feelings in your legs as you move up to your knees and your thighs. See if you can feel how your clothes feel on your skin. Continue moving up to the feelings in your hips and your backside. Again, just noticing the feelings without any need to change them. Pay attention now to your lower back and your abdomen. So much is held here. Just breathing into those places where we carry stress in our back and our stomach responds. Just breathing, relaxing it. And now just pay attention to your breathing. Notice how your abdomen rises when you breathe in deeply and falls when you exhale. Moving up and noticing the sensation in your upper back and your chest. Can you relax that more? Can you open that heart center a little more? Breathing. Moving to your hands and your fingers and your wrists. All that those hands do and hold. Just noticing. These are the hands and the feet and the mind of God, right here on earth. Notice the feelings in your neck and your throat. Breathing in through your mouth. The throat is our power center. Do we speak words of truth? Do we claim our power? And now notice the feelings in your face and your head. Noticing your nose and your lips, your eyes. And then just slowly scan your entire body, noticing all the sensations from your toes to the top of your head. Such a magnificent experience, really, the human body. Its capacity, its capabilities that we don't think about, have to manage. We don't have to work at it. There's an innate wholeness and a sense of balance and systems working. We can take a breath. And from this place, we can open up to our imagination running wild with the possibilities for our life, individually and communally and collectively. There is no limit. As Myrtle Fillmore was fond of saying, you don't have a problem except for the one in your mind, and you put it there. Release it. I'm calling forward infinite possibilities today. That's my work. Today and every day. So take a breath. Thank your body for how it works for you. Forgive it for any of its seeming failures or limitations. Love it into wholeness.
There's nothing that I need to do now, so I have faith, have faith. There's nothing that I need to do now, so I have faith, have faith. Nothing that I need to do now, so I have faith, have faith. Nothing that I need to do now, so I So I wrote down recover, repair, reimagine, right here. I love when we love one another. I believe you can make up with your mother. 'Cause all relationships are recovered. Scared, pull up a chair. Everything can be healed and repaired. Is it so hard to imagine? I prefer when we're laughing. And if it's old, we can evolve and reimagine. There's nothing that I need to do now, so I have faith, have faith. Nothing that I need to do now, so I have faith, have faith. Nothing that I need to do now, so I have faith, have faith. Nothing that I need to do now, so I have faith, have faith.
He just made that up right now. Thank you, John.
I did my best.
You did your best. Hey, I want to ask something of you. My beloved is having surgery on Tuesday morning. She's just having a lesion taken off of her thyroid. Chances of it being anything are minimal. But you know what that means. I'm in charge of the household. So could you just hold us in your prayer for her health and strength and recovery, and my health and strength and recovery. Holding it together, okay? Heidi, you know Heidi. Thank you for that. We do have a prayer box outside near the welcome desk. If you have any prayer requests, please include those. We pray over those every week. Now is the time in our service where we give of our good in support of this ministry. And oh my gosh, we have an update on the greater expansion. Is that right? Engagement. Fund. The new total is $25,694. It's really amazing. It tells me what we're doing here is important. It's important to you, it's important to the community. So thank you for all the ways you've given to that and all the ways that you've given of your time and your support and your service. Speaking of that, Margie's going to have a knee replacement on October 3rd. I'm just freestyling now. That's also her birthday. So happy birthday, you get a new knee. I guess that's happy. And she turned 73, a young baby boomer. Joe and Margie, speaking of laborers, get here every Sunday at 9 a.m. to make the coffee. Yes, thank you. If you would like coffee in October and want to get here at 9 o'clock, we'll show you how to make it. So you can, I think there's a sign-up sheet in the fellowship room, or you can talk to Carly or I, or just show up. We would love your support with that. So back to giving. However it is you're giving today, there is information in your bulletin if you'd like to give an additional donation to the greater engagement. I keep wanting to say evolution, expansion. That's what's happening. So, okay. It tells you how to do that. And there's also a QR code for you to give electronically. And I know many of you do that already. There's baskets in the back for your cash and check as you leave. So however you're giving, let's bless these love offerings together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I circulate. I am thankful. Get ready, here come his feet.
I just want to send my love out to everybody, from everyone, even to Marcy. I just want to say we love you today, and for your birthday we'll give you a brand new knee. And that's everything you need. This one's already written out. We talked about the highs, we talked about the lows. 1 month turned to 3 before we hit the road. We patiently wait to let the garden grow, and I hope it shows. 'Cause when I first arrived, I had a goal in mind, the dial-limit dream and climb an unknown mountainside. Encouraged by your grace, I relaxed from time to time, and I hope it shows that it's bittersweet to leave, bittersweet to go. With the pedal at my feet, I feel I don't have much to show. show. Still driven by my faith to walk the path I know, and I hope it shows. I hope it shows. You raised a beautiful sunflower that I love to death, and I hope it shows. When I'm at my best, I'm at peace, fully expressed. I've lived inside my head enough to know when I'm in my chest. Has the person I've become a person you respect? Well, I hope it shows. Well, I hope it shows. Oh, and I hope it shows. We'll be back with highs, we'll be back with lows. We'll return more lessons learned and adventures on our own. We patiently await to reap all we have sowed, and I hope it shows. I hope it shows.